Our next stop is snowy Buffalo. Joe Burrow and Josh Allen, they were both so good early in this game. And then in the fourth quarter, Allen's got a lane.
Yeah, ridiculous job by Deion Dawkins picking up a pressure guy, free runner. Josh pumps him. He jumps in the air. No one on the defense has eyes on him. 40-yard touchdown.
And so the Bills pull within 3. And then Joe Burrow, what did he do?
Yeah, this is a corner blitz. Joe's trying to answer the corner blitz by dumping it off to Jamar. Just a ridiculous play by Christian Benford. This has been happening a lot in the NFL. You cut the split down the receivers, pressure the corner. Benford, just the awareness is great. Joe wants that one back.
Burrow had been playing so brilliantly, and then that play, and then Domonique, this is the very next play.
Yeah, this game came down to both these quarterbacks. It felt like no one was going to miss an opportunity to make a play. Then Joe missed 2, and it was over from that point. He came back and started playing well again, but these 2 plays, that's unlucky. The one before was a little unlucky. It cost him the game.
Completely turns the game. Bills 4th down. Dan, look at the time Allen had.
Yeah, great job by the offensive line. Josh surveying, and then Jackson Hawes, the rookie tight end, has been great. Sits there, Josh rifles to him, Snow Angels.
Bills go up. Burrow trying to bring them back. How about this catch from T.
Yeah, let me say this. I actually think the Bills' defense played better than the stats. They had good coverage multiple times, just beat by great throws and catches.
But in the end,
they didn't play that well.
the Bengals.
I disagree.
Bengals needed one stop. Bengals needed one stop at the end, and they had Buffalo in a 3rd and 15.
Yeah.
Quarterback's leg.
This is crazy.
This is Josh. I mean, again, not a ton of eyes on him, but just the best player in the field.
Yep.
And that's the play that ends it. And so, an absolute thriller. This game was so much fun to watch, especially that first half. The snow was falling, and you got Allen and Joe Burrow, 2 quarterbacks as good as any 2 basically that we've ever seen playing so brilliantly, and that all turns on those 2 plays.
That was really the gist of the game, right? Like you saw for most of the game, the Cincinnati Bengals was in control of that game. Like Joe Burrow was absolutely dealing in those weather conditions, and then all of a sudden, those 2, obviously the one where seemed like he was shot putting the ball out there, and then obviously the pick 6 right here, and then the next pass was a tip pass for the interception.
If you were watching this game, you could be like tricked into believing that you're watching 2 championship-level teams going at it.
Yeah.
But that wasn't it, man. Those defenses are bad. Josh Allen and Burrow are incredible. Those tight ends on that Bills offense were awesome. And, of course, Cooks is good when he doesn't fumble. But these teams are so flawed on the defensive side of the ball, it makes it so much more fun to watch this quarterback.
Dan, I need you to explain to me the first Burrow interception, though, because he's playing so brilliantly. We were all watching this game together. Some of us in the room were after Sunday countdown. And I rarely do. I got out of my chair and screamed, like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, so we call this a cut split by the receiver, meaning he's closer to the offensive tackle. And what happens is defenses this year across the NFL have decided we're going to blitz the corner to defend against the run. That's why we're doing it, to defend against the run. Benford blitzes. Joe sees the blitz, and instead of handing it off because you're not blocking that guy, the answer at times is to just replace the blitzing corner with the throw quickly to your receiver. I think the weather plays a factor. That's why it's a 2-hand shot put. So it's probably the process of doing the right thing. It's just a bad result.
Schefter, what do you make of it all?
There was a little while there where you began to wonder whether this Bengals team could go on some type of extended.
Yes.
They won in Baltimore on Thanksgiving. They're beating Buffalo in Buffalo. They have Joe Burrow back. And suddenly it feels like all things are possible. And just like that, in the span of that one play, it just shifts and changes. And now Burrow's back. And it looks like they're not going to have enough. And it looked like for a little bit of time, they were on a magical run. That's what it felt like to me when I'm watching them.
I completely agree. Very quickly around the horn here on this. Next Sunday, Bills Patriots, the rematch. Buffalo is a 1.5-point favorite on the road. Are the Bills a Super Bowl contender in your mind in the AFC, Neek?
I want to say no, but then I look at the rest of the AFC and it's like they got Josh Allen. They got a defense that's not consistently good but can create turnovers. I think that they could make it to the Super Bowl. It depends on how good the Patriots can get between now and the championship
Super Bowl. It looks Allen is going to be in the playoffs. It looks like Lamar may not be. Mahomes may not be.
That's a big
Burrow
one.
may not be.
This is going to be the easiest road for Josh Allen in his career in Buffalo.
Yeah,
His biggest nemesis is not there.
Right, that's it.
To shoot him down. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's the easiest path he's ever had. I agree with D. Wood on that. At home, if they could find a way to be at home, I would pick them to go to the Super Bowl.
If they win next Sunday, they'll have a fighting chance at getting those games at home. We'll see. In the meantime, the other crazy game in the AFC yesterday in Baltimore, everything turns on this play. The referees initially ruled this Isaiah Likely catch from 13 yards out as a touchdown would have given the Ravens the lead with less than 3 minutes remaining. But as you see, he loses the ball in the end zone. Less than a minute later, referee Alex Moore announces that it is an incompletion. The explanation is fairly complicated. At least NFL Vice President of Instant Replay Mark Butterworth said, the control is the first aspect of the catch. The second aspect is 2 feet or a body part in bounds, which he did have. Then the third step is an act common to the game.
Please.
Or you could get the third
Please
foot
stop.
down.
Just stop reading it, Greeny. Just stop. Just stop.
That's a touchdown?
That's an absolute touchdown. You know what you was reading? You was reading the word salad to justify why they took away that touchdown. We are making this way too complicated in the National Football League. What's a touchdown? What's not a touchdown? He literally had caught the ball, okay? 2 steps. Yeah. You're in the end zone. Like, that's a touchdown.
So,
I don't understand. Like, this is way too complicated.
You know my son is a big Ravens fan, so he called me yesterday after the game, and I'm going, son, we don't blame the refs. Like, the Ravens had chances. We don't blame the refs. We don't blame the refs. In life, you never want to blame the refs. You find a way to get it done. I'm about to blame the damn refs. Because you watch that game, and of course, the Ravens had many opportunities to get the job done. But the thing that jumps out to me is, in the same game, they had this call where this is not a catch, but you also have Aaron Rodgers have what was an interception, and they called that a catch. Aaron Rodgers caught the ball against his head for a split second, much shorter than this. Didn't make a football play, and they said, no, it's not an interception. It's an Aaron Rodgers catch for a loss. And to me, I don't understand how you can have that catch right there where it's 2 steps with possession of the ball. We're not going to call that a touchdown. But then you can have this version of Aaron Rodgers, and we're not going to call this an interception because somehow, right there, for a split second, Aaron Rodgers has 2 feet on the ground and possession, or 2 knees on the ground and possession of the ball. How can this be reception by Aaron Rodgers, but that by Isaiah Likely in the end zone, which was much clearer control, not be a touchdown by Isaiah Likely?
My question is this: how does a player make a move common to the game in the end zone? What is the move that would be common to the game? I'm in the end zone. Right. The ball's crossed the goal line. I've got 2 feet down. I don't know what would be the next necessary third move common to the game. I'm in the freaking end zone.
He looks to me like he is holding the ball purposely away from the defensive back. That is a football move, right? That is an act of a football move.
No movement from the ball.
I just think when you watch it, it looks like a touchdown, and I've got 2 sources who tell me it is a touchdown. My left eye and my right eye.
This also happens in the game when they call that penalty on special teams, and that takes off a field goal and it puts a touchdown on the board for Pittsburgh.
We are going yesterday. This was one of the best games of the year. D. Wood said it felt like a heavyweight fight, and it really did. Second quarter, this is the Packers in a scoreless game. They really dominated much of the action in the first half, and Christian Watson, Dan, has emerged.
Yeah, outstanding protection, fade away for Jordan Love. You get man coverage. Watson does a great job of pressuring the safety, crossing his face. The touch on the throw allows him to run to it big time.
And then the Bears had almost no offense in this first half, and Love has got Bo Melton down the middle of the field.
Yeah, really good job. You attack the coverage, you sit the corner on the backside, allow Melton's speed down the field. Once again, Jordan Love gives him time and a great throw.
And the Packer defense really gave Caleb Williams fits in the first half. But then the second, Domonique, how many people alive could have made this play?
I'd say 2 other people. It's Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, like to evade the sack and then to drop it in there. And it's not just that one. He did it like 4 or 5 times.
Here's another one. Dan, is this a good play on 1st and goal?
It is, because it results in a touchdown. It's aggressive. It's aggressive. I mean, he fits that ball in. It comes from basically below his hip. It's an outstanding job by Zacchaeus as well. And Bears finally get in the end zone.
They go for the 2 and get it, so it's 14-11. Then back come the Packers. Here's Watson, and they're not going to get him.
I mean, he's become a superstar. He's become the go-to person in this offense. A third down, one-on-one. Very little guys are big enough, fast enough, strong enough to handle him.
21-14 Green Bay, and it just felt like a playoff game in so many ways. This is a third down. Luther Burden on the screen, going to find 10 yards and a first, and that's going to set up this. Dan, how about the play call on 3rd and goal?
Yeah, I love it. 3rd and goal. Everyone, you're so close thinking run. Let's get run. They go ball fake, leak somebody from the backside, wide open touchdown.
17-play drive. We're tied at 21, but the answers, Wood, came from Josh Jacobs on the ensuing drive.
Yeah, well, listen, what made this thing so impressive was the Chicago Chicago Bears coming off their 17-play drive, and they come back and answer with the physicality that he was showing in that drive.
Yeah, there were more spectacular backs in the league, but maybe none more physical than Jacobs.
Yeah, all right, no scheme. We don't need to talk about it. Give me the ball. Let me run through him.
So now the Bears get the ball back, down a touchdown, 2 minutes and change. How about this play from Caleb?
Yeah, big time. Just the ability to keep the play alive, peeking left and kind of no-looks it to Duvernay on the move. Just bonkers. But, I mean, I don't know how he sees that.
And then it all comes down. Yeah, it's a spectacular play. Caleb had multiple plays that you said, I just can't believe what I just saw. But then it comes down to this. 4th and 1, final half minute. Do you run it up the middle behind your big O-line? No, they're going to try and throw for it, and it is picked off to end the ball game. Underthrown by Caleb, maybe thrown a moment late. We're going to talk about it at length, this final play that ultimately gives the Packers a thrilling win. 28-21 the final. Again, they're going to play again in 12 days. I'll take a third meeting. Those coaches hate each other, and I love it. 12-1. Matt LaFleur is 12-1 now in his tenure against Chicago, including 6-0 at Soldier Field, where they will play again in 12 days. Here was Jordan Love on what this win meant for his team and his coach.
Yeah, I mean, it meant a lot to everybody. But, you know, obviously, you know, we've all known the comments that were out there, so it is what it is. But, you know, this is a game that means a lot to everybody. It's an NFC North matchup. Obviously, Bears are number 1 seed. So it's a huge game, and like I said, you know, we'll see these guys here in a couple weeks again.
If you were not with us in our first hour, we talked at great length about this. Packers certainly look like they are a Super Bowl caliber team. The Bears went toe-to-toe with them. They're so far ahead of schedule that their season has been remarkable, and we'll see. But we had some significant disagreement, and so now we'll set aside a little time for it. The play call and the execution on the final play, that meaningful play of the game, the interception by Caleb, what did you think?
Chicago won it back. It was predictable. And you go to the moment. Green Bay calls timeout right before, okay? So let's go back in time to earlier in the football game. This is 4th and 1 earlier in the game. Couple things. Cut splits. You see the receiver come down. Quarterback rolls out, ball fake. The back goes to the flat. You're trying to get the tight end in the corner. This is 4th and 1. Earlier in the game. Go back to Black Friday against the Philadelphia Eagles. Cut split. 4th and 1. You're to a short yardage. Quarterback ball fake. Back to the flat. Tight end in the corner route. Now this is the big time throw by Caleb Williams. So then you go to that 4th and 1 yesterday, late in the game. Green Bay calls timeout. Tell me if it looks familiar. Cut splits. Multiple tight ends. Down block by the receiver. Ball fake by the quarterback. Tailback goes out in the flat. Tight end on the corner route. I promise you.
Wide open.
No. I promise you.
Let him go.
I promise you. Green Bay calls timeout, and tells their guys, be ready for this play. Nixon makes that play. Everyone's sitting there. He's not the first read. He's really on that play, the tight end. He's probably the third part of that progression. Back to the flat 1, probably as a runner 2, and then maybe the tight end late. He's not the first read.
Bear in mind it's 4th and 1. There was a reminder there. So
he's not running for it.
First down is what they need.
The back's not open. He's not getting the back or the legs there for Caleb are not getting a first down.
So, Nick, you would disagree. Why?
Was he open?
When?
Was he open?
The tight end?
Was it a bad pass?
I disagree, dude. When's the tight end open?
Well, hold on. Watch it, right? If we could wait,
Go back to your tape. Go back to your tape. We can see that the defensive back, Nixon, who's responsible for him, is not even near him. It was a great play call. He's wide open. The fact that it took Caleb too long to get to it and the pass was bad.
This is the one earlier in the game.
And the pass was bad is not the reason.
No, he didn't mean this tape. He just means this play.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
The play at the end,
It'll make it to the tape with the play at the end where you have it wide open in the back of the end zone.
Against the Eagles.
Look at the timing of the one from last week.
Funny thing, it keeps working.
Hold on,
it
guys.
keeps working.
Look at the timing of the one from last week. It's the same timing. It's later in the progression because that's when your eyes as a quarterback
that
get
player is
there.
less open there than he is on this
But
play.
Schefter, it's the timing of the throw.
We understand what you're saying. I get that. He's still behind him. The throw is bad. If you throw it anywhere reasonable, Nixon's underneath. It'll be a pass interference. Anything. Look, he's 5 yards away from him, Dan. Don't. At some point, you got to be able to say, my bad, I was wrong.
I'm not sitting here telling you
throws the ball. Let me ask a question, Dan. If he throws that ball to the back pylon, if he throws it to the corner, is the tight end, he's going to run under it and hopefully catch it, right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a bang contested throw.
It's okay to say you're wrong.
No, I'm not wrong. I'm 100% right.
Yeah.
I think a better throw gives it a more likely chance for a completion, but everyone is talking like he's wide open, just make the throw and it's an easy touchdown. That's not reality.
By the way, it can be predictable and it can be right because they keep running counting it and having success running
So
it.
my only point is,
Yeah.
I understand when he releases the ball, I understand he's not the first beat. When he releases the ball, he has him by 5 yards, and Caleb underthrows him. If he throws a perfect pass, it's a touchdown. If he throws an okay pass, it's a touchdown. If he throws a bad pass, it's pass interference. If he throws an awful pass, it's an interception.
No, here's my
That's what
pushback, Dom.
happens.
You're making it like the only throw that ends up as the result is that throw. It doesn't matter if it's picked off or not. It's fourth down. So I think the perfect throw is a touchdown. Nixon does an outstanding job. That's a hard throw,
you
guys,
don't
for a
think-
righty quarterback, drifting to his
I get
left
it.
to
I'm
float
not-
it in a
I'm
small
not saying that
space.
it's not a hard throw, but creating that much separation. And I understand what you're saying about the time that it takes. When he releases the ball, there's at least 4 yards of separation.
So let me ask you this. As a football person, there's no pushback to calling that same play over and I'm telling everybody, Green Bay during the timeout, I promise you, tells their guys to get ready for that.
Let me get D Wood in. D Wood, what is your take on all this?
Oh, I'm just watching two football savants. I'm just watching two football savants just going back and forth or whatever.
My last thing I'll say is you're talking about this, and I understand what you're saying. You don't want to keep doing the same play. My point is it worked. And you're trying to convince me that it didn't work when obviously I have eyes and we see that it worked. So you want him in that moment to have another play ready. He didn't have one play ready. He had one that worked, and it was a bad throw, right?
So we're going to leave it at that. Look, I mean, you can both be right a little bit. A perfect pass probably does.
It's unrealistic.
So either way, let's move on from it because there are so many other elements to the game. The two primary ones. One, right now, let me get Schefter in on this. One, Jordan Love, right now, playing championship level football, right? We know that Green Bay defense with Micah is unbelievable. The question is Love good enough? That's been the question on Sunday Countdown all year. Right now, he looks very much good enough.
Well, you guys said he's elevated himself into the MVP conversation with Drake May, with Matthew Stafford, and if the Packers finish strong and somehow unseat the Rams for the #1 seed, and we should point out that the Packers have a huge game Sunday in Denver against a pretty good defense and a team that's won 10 in a row. If Jordan Love can win that game and get the Packers to the #1 seed, he's going to have a real chance to win the MVP of the league. And by the way, also want to point out that a month ago, a lot of people speculating about Matt LaFleur's future, wondering if he was going to make it, wondering what kind of pressure there was on. Well, since then, Packers have done all right, and they're the #1 seed right now. And the Chicago Bears also go from 1 to 7.
Yeah.
In the span of one afternoon. One fourth down predictable play that didn't work out cost them 6 spots in the playoff rankings.
And D Wood, the other side of it. I watched the game with a house full of Bears fans.
Yeah.
So maybe I was watching it through Bears-colored glasses. I emerged feeling great about the Bears. I know it's a heartbreaking loss if the Bears are in your soul, but my goodness, they may have lost a battle, but that looks like a team that, to me, is going to win a lot of wars.
Again, like I said, at the beginning of the show, like I felt like I watched a heavyweight bout, a prize fight. Both of these teams going blow for blow. Can't wait to watch them in 12 days. And I'll say this about Chicago Bears. Chicago's Bears have an identity.
Yes.
Like, especially in the second half, they made it a point. We're going to do what we do best. We're going to run the football. They had that 17-play drive, and they at one point they put the Green Bay Packers on their heels a little bit. Like, whoa.